Hi, so just got back from the England-Italy Euro 2020 final. Wow, it's like 2:30 in the morning and I'm mashed. My thoughts on the final were that I believe Italy, who ended up winning the final, just about over the 120 minutes, shaded it. I thought it was a very close game in which England, I thought, controlled the first half really well, but didn't get that second goal, which I think would have killed Italy. I don't think Italy had two goals in them, especially two goals down. But in the second half, Italy, and credit to Mancini, who I've always been a fan of, I rate Mancini, made some tactical changes and they grew into the second half and they ended up, dominating the second half, if not for chances, but definitely they were the team that were the better team in the second half. And extra time, I think was again fairly even, but I'd probably say Italy just shaded it. Not much in it. And it's a shame. It's a shame because England, I thought, were worthy finalists first of all, and I thought England would win. I thought England would shade it the way that Italy shaded it. I thought England would shade it, um, but it wasn't to be. But I think overall it's been a successful tournament for England. I think they can take some successes and some big wins out of Euro 2020. It's a shame they couldn't finish the job off because winning a tournament on home soil no doubt would have been insane. And I don't believe that I'm ever going to see England get to a final of a home tournament ever again. I think they'll get to a final in the next couple of tournaments again, but I can't see in my lifetime them getting to another home final, which is a shame for everybody. But I think that the tournament as a whole was a success. I was skeptical about the whole pan-European thing, and I still do have some views on whether, on the fact that it's financially lucrative for UEFA to have it across European cities. But I think, pandemic aside, I think actually it could have been a bigger success. I think it could have worked. And I thought that considering we're in COVID times, generally it was a success. I think just going back to England, Gareth Southgate deserves massive, massive praise for the way that he's conducted himself. I think Southgate is a man of huge empathy, emotional intelligence. I like how he's articulate. And I think that, and I learned this in the Germany and in the Denmark games as well, that he's tactically improved. The Croatia semi-final against the semi-final of the World Cup against Croatia, I thought tactically he was naive and tactically he was lost. He was lost and out of his depth. I don't think he knew what to do. I think in these finals, he has learned and he hasn't understood what to do. And bar the final in the second half, I think he's tactically got everything correct. So I think he deserves huge credit for what he's done. He's taken England from a team that were very much an embarrassment to the nation, and if they got to the quarterfinals, that was deemed like whoa, that was deemed a success. Whereas now he's got the team and the nation believing that they've got a team they can be proud of, and one that actually is a last four team, and actually quarterfinal is the minimum. Quarterfinals the minimum, if not semi-final. England now are a team that look like for the next two or three tournaments are saying to the world, we are expecting to be in the last four. We're expecting now to be in the last four of every competition. I think if you're a nation that's getting to the last four of every competition, you're a serious team. Um, and I think he's done that in the short time he's been in play. I think England has been great. A couple of negatives over the whole tournament. I've covered every England game. The anti-German songs, the anti-Irish songs, I think are disgusting and foul. I think the booing of the national anthems is uncalled for and disgraceful. Um, uh, and some of the behaviour generally in pockets has been a little bit um, not cool. But I think that generally it's been a success, and I think the fans have generally held themselves well. But it wasn't to be. But I think that my final point would be looking forward. Again, I think Southgate has got this team now, and the nation again to believe that this wasn't a one-off. In Russia 3 years ago, I was out there, and it felt like this was the best chance in a long time England had to get to a final of a major competition. If it was like now or never, whereas tonight's defeat doesn't feel like that. It feels like you've gone one step further than you've gone before, and this is now where England are telling the world they belong. We're not. This wasn't a once in a lifetime opportunity. It feels like in 18 months' time in Qatar that England will be putting expectations on themselves of getting to the semi-finals, and then you throw in Brazil, Argentina, all the African nations, and etc. That's a big standard uh, raise to have from where they were before. So overall, really good tournament. Didn't work out again for England, but I think it's been a big success. Lessons to learn. Um, yeah, and all roads now lead to Qatar 2022.